everyone. Welcome to the Mishmash Entertainment Podcast. This time around, we have Miki.
Nathan.
Dan.
And Matt.
And this time, to start off, we were going to talk about our favorite online content and what we like the most. And for me, most of my entertainment I've consumed on the internet is mostly just Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter.
Solid choice.
Which is great, but at the same time, I don't really watch much else,
Yeah.
But they have a lot of stuff.
They do. They put out hours and hours of content. Content. Thank you. My brain died. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very recently a big YouTube watcher. I never used to be. I never used to really have a lot of YouTubers that I would follow regularly. And actually, don't judge me for this, but what got me into YouTubing was the PewDiePie controversy.
Oh.
PewDiePie got all these allegations about being, Nazi, anyway, so there's a smear campaign against him. And I started watching him, and I actually really kind of like him. So through him, I started watching some other people like H3H3, Video Game Donkey, stuff like that. And now I have like a good rotation of YouTubers.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got to Rooster Teeth. I actually also started watching PewDiePie many years ago, and then I started watching Crytek, or whatever you want to call them, and then eventually I found Rooster Teeth, but I found them through their Minecraft Let's Plays, which I still watch.
Yeah. As one of the maybe two people, I'm pretty sure Dan didn't get started into online content this way. I didn't start watching PewDiePie. I was watching online content before PewDiePie. Go all hipster on you. I honestly can't remember what started me off on YouTube because I've been. Oh no, I'm weird, and I was super edgelord teen that liked to talk about religion on the internet, and that's where I started. We're gonna stay away from that. No need to talk about that here. That's not what this is about.
You're an edgelord.
Was an edgelord, young teenage edgelord. I was in 10th grade, but like I transitioned from that into all kinds of content. I watch some educational stuff. I watch like SciShow, the Vlog Brothers, their stuff, and a lot of entertainment stuff. I watch a couple people who do Let's Plays now. I'll occasionally watch a guy named Gassy Mexican. Anyone who's seen the video with like CNNers and the impression of Morgan Freeman, it's from it doesn't matter. They were playing a game, and the one person plays as an invisible guy with a knife, and everyone else is playing as like SWAT members. The people with the knife can jump around and stuff like that. It's actually a super fun game. It's called The Hidden, and that's where that comes from. But mostly what I watch online now is either Rooster Teeth content or a show called Critical Role, which is a bunch of, as they put it, nerdy-ass voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I've heard of this.
I've seen some of it,
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
5th edition. It's hard to get into now because they're past episode 100. Like, when I got into it, they weren't even at episode 20. And they put out 3 to 5 hour episodes. So you're looking at between 300 to 500 hours of content if you want to watch it all.
It's like a D&D session. It's like, hours.
Yep. And you can skip probably about 45 minutes between intro, outro, and break in the middle.
Right. So
that does cut it down a bit, but it's really hard to get into. And of course, it's nerdy. I'm a giant nerd, though. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I have since I was a kid. So it's just that's me. That's like, and I talked about in one of the last podcasts how much I love fantasy. So that's my favorite thing right now. I also watch a lot of Rooster Teeth. I watch all their podcasts.
I just have a note there on the D&D people playing D&D. Yeah. If you know who Dan Harmon is, the guy who created Community, he has this Harmon Quest. He did a season of it, and it's basically him and some improv people. There's a couple of people I noticed from. There's one of the guys I noticed from It's Whose Line Is It Anyway and Improvaganza, I think. I can't remember his name. He's really good. He's really good at improv. But anyway, he's a regular on there, and it's just, it's really good. And I don't know if the second season's out yet, but
I didn't get into that. I tried watching the first episode, and I didn't get into it for whatever reason.
He did podcasts called Harmontown with a guy named Jason would be his DM, and they would play D&D with a live audience.
Yeah.
That's where that was rooted in. I'm surprised you went through so much of like what you used to watch religiously and didn't mention That Guy with the Glasses once. or The Amazing Atheist.
God. Yeah, that guy with the glasses. Oh, that was a good year of my life where I watched.
Is that a YouTube channel name?
Yeah.
That guy with the glasses.
Yeah. And
That's
The Amazing
great.
Atheist. That was
He calls himself the nostalgia critic now.
Yeah.
Is that guy with glasses.
Oh,
that
I
was
think
always
I've
that
heard of
character
that.
for that
Okay,
show.
okay.
It was
Yeah.
the nostalgia critic, and then he has other shows that he does as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've ever heard of nostalgia critic, that's what it is. But
Okay.
yeah, in fact, I remember the way I got to that guy with the glasses is that The Amazing Atheist briefly had a show on their network. It lasted like a month, and I think it was like one of the last things I saw. Like I'd stopped watching most content but religious. Like I still love to watch like science videos and people. I love getting into arguments with people about science related things. I don't care about religion anymore. It's just boring to me. But I love like. I'm not going to get into it here because we don't want to alienate anyone. But that's a big part of what I used to watch, and I still occasionally watch things like that. And but yeah, it was at the tail end of my watching religious things. Subscribed to this guy called The Amazing Atheist, who's looking back on it, I cringe a little bit to know that I watched so much of his content. But then I got into that guy with the glasses, and I would watch. They upload like 3 or 4 videos a day from a bunch of different creators, and I'd watch every video as it came out from all the creators. And as happens whenever you consume content like that, you eventually are just like, I've seen this before, and you stop.
For me, getting into online content was quite a lot of, I'll call them like eras of my life, because it starts 17 years ago with MSN Plus. Early mods patching for MSN to enable other features, including the ability to send sound files to each other. And this guy named Mike sends me a sound file of on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, and like little squeaky voices, and I thought it was just hilarious. And it was from this thing called DBZ in a nutshell. It was the #1 viewed thing on a site called flashplayer.com that Matt might remember. We spent quite a few days on there, and sites like Funny Junk and just online flash sites. But DBZ in a nutshell, 17 years ago, was written by this guy named Aaron, who's going by the name Ego Raptor. Yeah. And following him led me to Newgrounds, where I found just tons and tons of people to follow. And like that's basically how I've gone from like site to site, Flash Player to Funny Junk to Newgrounds and even to YouTube, is just following Ego Raptor's content to the point that now he's got an entire company with like 7 different YouTubers all like come to his house to record. And God, he's 30 now because it's been 17 years. That's freaky to think about. But I
don't know why. Like pre-YouTube, my brain just stopped working, I guess, because then I used to watch like lots of like Flash content, and we'd follow. I didn't follow people so much as like one of the things. I was in 9th grade when I found one of my favorite bands, Blind Guardian, which I found through a Flash video for their song, the Bard Song. Yeah. It was like I thought it was an awesome animated video someone had made for them, and then I've got other content that I watched, like the Final Fantasy song, really blooping beepy version of this Chocobo race. Yeah. Final Fantasy is an RPG.
So that's the Legendary Frog.
Yes.
Did that. That's why I paid attention to the content creators even back then, was that there was so much content coming out so quickly, and by today's standards, it's nothing. Like we're talking like 2 videos a day, but this was the year 2000, so this like 256 kilobyte Flash video was taking like an hour to load. Yeah. It was a commitment to watch a video, so you didn't want to wait an hour and load up garbage that wasn't worth watching. So you find these guys like Crinkles making movies like Madness, where they had like the circle head with the plus on the face, and it was in black and white.
And then Madness Interactive.
Is the video game. Oh, so good. Yeah. But like Legendary Frog had like All Your Pie and Carrie's Big Invention and the One Ring to Rule Them All. Yeah. And,
Hearing all these names make me wonder how they come up with these. YouTube names now are so much different than these.
Yeah, there was Legendary Frog and Crinkles and Ego Raptor and oh my God, so many of just legends.
That guy with the glass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's significantly later than Legendary Frog and all these people at
I know, but it's still a great name.
We're talking like 2000, 2001 here.
Yeah, like back when Dan and I met. We've been friends for
17 years now.
Yeah, I'm so old. But yeah.
I remember back in the day watching Angry Video Game Nerd. I think he was a thing before there was even...
Cinemassacre is 2 years older than YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say before YouTube, and it was Screw Attack, wasn't it? It was part of it? Or...
Game Trailers, which owned Screw Attack, and they were both on Game Trailers together.
Right, okay. I was lumping them together.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the same Screw Attack that now has joined...
Yes.
I didn't realize they've been allowed... Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Stuttering Craig has done quite a lot with Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're part of Rooster Teeth now. They were acquired by Full Screen. And so they've got a huge network now of people.
I feel bad because when I was getting like stuff for you for Extra Life, which I forgot to bring, I'm so sorry.
No.
But it's because it's been so long, I forgot I even had it.
Shirt. I forgot about it too. Don't worry.
The guy who owns Rooster Teeth was literally there, sitting beside me, and I had no idea who he was.
Which guy?
He had short hair and glasses.
Bernie?
And honestly,
that could have been anybody.
like square cut hair, and Matt, maybe his name was.
Matt Hullum?
Yes, that's it.
I didn't think he had glasses.
I was sitting beside. He was doing the YouTube live show for E3. He was literally sitting outside the room because that was being recorded in the room beside Konami's. I was literally sitting beside him, had no idea who he was. Like 5 people came up to him, asked him for like pictures and stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, that's nice, dude." And like, if I had known who he was, I would have gotten like stuff signed for you or something.
Well, if he was doing the live stuff, Matt Hullum doesn't really do live stuff though.
It might not.
No, he's not.
No,
I swear his name was Matt. So
is there another like? There's the long-haired Matt Bragg, but no one would be asking.
This guy had like short, almost gelled hair, like it was like slicked back, like to like a short cut.
The only thing I can think about is Bernie.
Yeah, it was like dark brown hair.
That's probably Bernie.
Okay.
He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Did his glasses have lenses in them? Because he doesn't wear.
Sometimes he does.
Oh, that's right. No, it's just on camera. He pops the lenses. That's right.
You could just go to like the live coverage on YouTube of E3, and you'll see him there because he was one of the hosts of it.
Are you just talking about Gus? Gus was definitely there for the live stuff. Hispanic, half Mexican, or full Mexican? I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
I wasn't looking up and down the guy, if I'm honest.
I mean,
I'm not checking dudes out.
He had to know.
I mean, you have to look at someone's face to judge their race. He's got slightly darker skin than a white person. Like,
he was a white guy.
Okay, so it was probably Bernie.
It definitely wasn't Gus.
It might have been.
I don't know why. Are you looking at people's dicks to determine their race or something? What's going on here, Dan?
No.
What's happening? What are you doing?
I'm just saying, he was sitting to my left, and I was kind of like looking at my phone, waiting for my meeting and stuff. I wasn't just like, "Hey, who's this guy?" You know what I mean?
I thought maybe you did that once people started out to come to him asking for, because that'd be something I'd be like,
do I know this person? The fifth time someone asked him to like stand up and take a picture, I asked him he was like, "Hey," he like walked in to like do his live thing, and that's when I got to the point where I was like, "Hey, like who was that who I was sitting beside?" They're like, "Oh, that was like Matt something or another from Rooster Teeth," and I was like, "Oh, Rooster Teeth." Yeah. That's a thing that Miki really likes. Yeah. I was like, damn.
I'm going to Google you a picture.
Yeah.
Because I need to know.
Yeah.
just
out of the 4 people in this room, I think there's only one. Actually, I don't know about you, Nathan. How familiar are you with Rooster Teeth?
I haven't watched a whole lot of Rooster Teeth.
My familiarity, really weird word, with Rooster Teeth is starts and ends with Red versus Blue and like 2 episodes of it.
Oh, only 2 episodes? But it's so good. Is it this guy?
No.
Okay.
Hullum,
that's Matt Hullum.
Okay.
So now I'm going to find a picture of Bernie.
This podcast has turned into find out who the hell Dan sat next to.
I mean, I sat next to a lot of people. It was E3. I met quite a few
Yeah, I'm still jealous you got to go to that.
Fancy fresh
Yeah, really
people.
though. Okay, is it that guy?
Yes, there's
Bernie.
the guy with the square head and the
Burns.
glasses. There's that guy.
First, because he said glasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
That
Bernie
was
wears
definitely
glasses.
that guy.
Yeah, Bernie does wear glasses, but he also sometimes doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah.
There's a picture with him without glasses.
That's 100% who it was.
Yeah.
Man, I'm jealous.
I'm super jealous. Bernie's one of my favorite people at Rooster Teeth.
Bernie's pretty funny.
I'm
Certainly, well, I don't know. I like a lot of people at Rooster Teeth, and there's some people.
There's somebody at Rooster Teeth.
I was allowed to bring 4 people.
Yeah, I don't have the money to go,
Okay.
so it wouldn't have mattered. You could have told me. I'm like, I really want to go, but I'm
It's
so
on the wrong
poor.
coast.
Yeah.
Wrong corner as well.
Yeah.
Like even if we were in Vancouver, that still would have been better. But you still have the vertical leap as well, right?
There's actually somebody from Rooster Teeth who follows the Nova Scotia Rooster Teeth Twitter.
Oh, really?
Which blows my mind.
Who is it?
It's Ezra.
That's the like full screen guy, right? Like the CEO of Full Screen.
I think so. I don't know.
That's the only.
But
I've heard Ezra.
yeah, one day
he
he followed the Twitter, and I was like, holy shit. Okay, that's pretty freaking cool.
I imagine that's probably just to be like, if we start doing something that hurts the brand, they'll like piss off and disassociate.
Well, apparently he likes to follow a lot of community Twitters.
What's Ezra's last name?
Cooper 2015.
Okay, I don't think it was the same Ezra then. There was an Ezra there as well.
There are two Ezras at Rooster Teeth, so it might be the other one. I remember, I think there are two Ezras. I seem to remember them talking about, like, someone was like, Ezra's like, oh, which Ezra? I was like,
Most of the other hosts are like Jeff Keighley, if you know who
Yeah.
that is. I've actually known Jeff for a couple of years, so that was different.
Yeah,
but-
Ezra
the ninja.
actually. Sometimes he'll retweet things from our Twitter.
that's really
And I'm
cool.
like, what?
I had
Because
no
I'll
idea.
retweet things for the community, like the summer schedule that they put out and whatnot.
Yeah.
He retweets it from me, and I'm like, whoa,
There was
this is amazing.
Matt Patrick. I got to connect with him a bit there. That was the big one for me. Was he's the guy from Game Theory. That was
Over my
that was a
head,
big one for
sorry.
me. I was like, man, like you are someone that I've like never met. Like this is pretty cool for me because like I know you and I haven't met you yet.
Yeah.
These are people that I'd love to meet in person.
Yeah. I'd love to go to...
They don't seem to leave the West Coast,
All
Yeah.
of them.
which is depressing.
This is and this
a
might
lot of
especially
money.
be beneficial for you because you're right tiny. But every like famous person you're ever gonna meet is shorter than you think they are. All of them. TV
I've heard
and
the
videos
opposite
has
for
this
Rooster
thing
Teeth.
Yeah,
where
like,
it
Bernie's
makes
over 6 feet tall.
and so is Gus.
Yeah.
every
And Gus's look
like,
short.
TV has this thing where it tries to like make people like look taller. They're only ever like filmed from the waist up and like from like upward angles and stuff. I mean, if it's like Joel McHale from Community, that guy's like 6'4", like he's a freaking mountain. So is Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like Dan Harmon, for example, that guy is like shorter than you easily. That guy's like 5'5". Like he's just a little dude.
Yeah.
You know, I've met a few voice actors, not actual actors, but
Hey,
Hey.
they're
they're
Come on.
actors, but they're not TV like camera actors.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if they're considered tall or short because I'm so short I can't tell sometimes.
Over 6 is tall for
But
guys.
yeah, but I can't tell what 6 feet is. Because
I'm
just too
exactly
short.
6 feet tall. You can use me as a measuring stick.
Okay, well, it's been a long time, so I don't remember. But the aside from TV actors being shorter than they seem, even if they aren't shorter than they seem, everybody thinks I'm cute because I'm small, so they want to give me a hug, and I'm like, yes, you can give me a hug. I like you.
I only know one voice actor. Is Mike Pollock. He does generic old guy voice in the background of a lot of things, but most importantly, he's Arthur Hopkins from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is what I know him through. I've met him at a few
Most
Yu-Gi-Oh!
importantly.
events, and he's been on my podcast even.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
That's cool.
the thing he's most known for, though, is Dr. Eggman. That's
Oh.
been his living
Okay.
hell.
Yep.
Because he's been every iteration of Eggman for the last 10 years. So
Oh my
like
God.
you
That's
should
a lot
see
of
this
Eggman.
guy's Facebook wall. It's horrible. He is
yeah.
just harassed on the regular. Poor guy. Sonic
guy.
fan base is just the worst.
Yeah, they're a weird bunch of people.
Well, I mean, they have all of their original Sonic characters
that they're allowed to make
so
now.
original.
Sonic Forces has a create a character mode.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice and furry.
I saw that creative character mode and I was like, oh no!
I'm sorry for your.
So many Sonic
future.
OCs coming.
You're gonna have you use the internet too much to not get exposed to it.
Oh, you think I'm not exposed? Haven't been exposed to furries? I've been online gaming. One of the things that happens in Source Engine, if you play a multiplayer game for any length of time, is furries are far too proud of their sexuality, and they will spray, not just their persona, which would be like, okay, fine, whenever I get it, you're a furry, you have a persona, do whatever you want. They'll just spray furry porn. You will see more furry porn than any other kind of porn, and some people do it to trolls, so it's also occasionally like the worst, most brutal. Like I saw a pterodactyl fucking a gaping wound.
Oh,
Like
gross.
So
that,
yeah.
I mean, the whole furry thing's not for me, and the furries I've met, despite being the nicest people, are also some of the grossest.
Yeah.
But to their credit, they are the biggest supporters of the art community there is.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Totally.
artist
That's-
I know lives or dies by how many furry fans they have.
That's why it's something anyone who's been online long enough notices. Despite the fact that furries somewhat popular online, they're still a small subset of people, but it's also the only subset of people where you'll find just absolutely amazing art done for furries because they'll actually pay artists what their art's worth.
Yeah.
To commission art, and they want the art commissioned because they have their personas. That's part of the culture.
It's like trying to pay a photographer to take a picture of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, furries are fine. I don't care. Like, but the thing is, I don't need you to be announcing that you're afraid of the world. I don't need anyone to announce anything about their sexuality to the world to me. I don't care. Like, do what you want to do. If you're not hurting anybody, enjoy. That's your private life. I don't need to know. Like, I don't even need to know if you're into like tying people up or blindfolding, or if you're a masochist or you're a sadist. That's all you. You have fun with that. Just furries are far too open about it. And I guess they're trying to get acceptance, which kind of makes sense because, of course, that's usually how people get acceptance. You expose people to the idea, and they get used to, like, okay, they have this aspect of their personality, but that doesn't make them terrible people or anything. I've said it a couple times. Somehow furries have come up in the last, like, 3 podcasts. It's not for me.
My bad.
I don't. It's fine. I don't understand how adding animal characteristics improves the attractiveness to women, let alone we just turn them into fur-covered things that are vaguely human-shaped. I'm completely lost there. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Understand that.
But again, it's not something I need to worry about. It's your private life. It's what you're into. Enjoy.
I think just part of like the whole deal with fetishes is that it doesn't really make sense in like a biological or attractive sense. Like fetishes usually deal with things that people being attracted to things that don't really have anything to do with procreation, right? Yeah. So like having like a foot fetish. Yeah. Like that's an actual fetish because your feet don't really have a lot to do with your
I've got to be honest, I'm more disgusted by feet fetish than by furries because I hate feet. Yeah. Like I'm not as bad as I used to be. I used to be like, keep your goddamn feet away from me, like even just like resting your feet on my legs or whatever. But feet are just they're not pretty. I just looked at Miki's feet there because I have
you don't like my feet.
I don't have like a foot fetish or anything. In fact, I don't care about your feet at all.
Get on this topic?
But at the same time, I have this thing where I don't like socks being on. So it's weird.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to have socks on when I'm in bed with you, Dan, which happens frequently with both of us being straight men. But that's very different from like your feet being anywhere near my dick.
That's fair.
Or being used in a sexual way. Like I'm at the point now where I'm old enough, and it's like I'm all right with if you've got sore feet, I'll rub your feet, whatever. I'm not going to offer to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't want anything. Your sex. I don't want you to be involved in sex.
Keep your sex away from me.
Get away from me, your sex.
I'm not just an atheist. I'm asexual too. Give me more A terms.
Oh God, I'm agender as well. I'm gonna get so much hate for this.
On the other side, shout out to the Halifax Pride that went on today.
Yeah, Halifax Pride.
They have the Pride
That's
Parade.
why it's in our brains.
Yeah, I guess. Although now it sounds like we're associating gay people with furries and foot fetishes.
No, that's got nothing to do with it.
It's just a general acceptance. Just accept it.
Yeah. Do what you want, whatever.
Aren't
like
you
you
a
said,
huge
it doesn't
brony
matter
who pledges tolerance and acceptance?
I've never.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Bronies are another thing that confuse me. I to be fair, I watched the first episode, and I was like, nope, this still doesn't make sense to me. Why are you watching ponies?
Okay, I've watched like an entire season of that because my friend decided it'd be a great idea to marathon it while we worked on our cosplays, and I don't get it.
Yeah. For me, I believe it's people looking for a reason to be like unique and stand out, and it gave them a reason to be the focus of attention. Hey, I'm a guy who likes like a little girls show, and I mean, there's a huge variety of those to pick from that they could do that with. But with My Little Pony, it actually does have story structure and quality animation, so it's got a minimum level of tolerance and watchability, so they can stomach it and enjoy it for what it is. But then they kind of take it too far in an attention-seeking direction. Yeah,
I mean, I like a show called Winx Club. It's pretty, it's made for, like, 6-year-old little girls.
Butterfly Barbies.
Yeah, Butterfly Barbies. That's a good, accurate description of this show.
I remember something like that being part of the Saturday morning cartoon lineup.
Probably.
Teletoon,
Yeah, it was on Teletoon.
That's why I remembered it.
Yeah, the animation... It used to be okay, and then they decided, let's add some sweet CG and 3D aspects. No, that was a bad idea. Yeah. Good. It's not even a good story, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, you can totally get the idea of where they want to like be like characters. Yeah. Because I like cosplay. I want to be the character.
How about you?
I mean, yeah.
What fringe groups have you experienced in your childhood and growing up? Because the world was a different place.
Me growing up. Oh yes, yeah. Well, I don't know. I wasn't really part of a lot of fringe groups, and it's sad to say.
I-
I lived in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have a car a lot of the time, so I literally just retreated into video games.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. My fringe group was I think this in our origin story I talked about this, but I'll just bring it up again briefly. I was like my best friend in elementary school. We went to junior high, and I was at this crossroads where he became friends with like the potheads of the group, and then I made these new friends who played Pokemon in the English teacher's classroom. So I went to the Pokemon group, and I don't regret my choice whatsoever. Yeah. But anyway, that's I guess as fringe as I got.
When we were growing up, video games was the fringe group. I used to get bullied for playing N64, and now video games, you get bullied if you don't play them.
Yeah, I guess even when I was younger, people used to leave me alone because I was like still nice to people. Yeah. Like I was quiet, and people just be like, oh, like leave him alone. He's yeah.
Well, I mean, Dan's always been a nice guy as well, but I mean, Dan has also had the disadvantage of being small when he was growing up. Like,
I was smaller than you until I was 15.
Small.
Yeah, he moved away to go to a different school, and I didn't see him for like a year, and then he came to my apartment, my house. I was still living with my parents at the time, and he went from being like below my shoulder to being pretty much the same height as me. I was like, what the hell?
I went from 4'8" to 6 foot over one summer.
Yeah. Wow.
Those are some sore knees.
He just burst into like an adult form. It was weird.
It's like you went outside and hit the sun in the summer.
Yeah.
Some sort of photosynthesis.
And of course, it happened the year he moved away.
Yeah.
So it's just like.
Yeah, there are people I went to like early high school, late middle school with that have not seen me since I moved away, and they won't even recognize me.
Yeah.
Jordan hasn't seen me since I was shorter than him.
Yeah. I haven't seen Jordan in a long time. But yeah.
Jordan often hasn't seen me since I was shorter than Jordan.
I haven't seen Jordan off a couple of years. That's not a topic for the podcast, though.
On that note, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. Anything else you want to promote, Dan?
So I have my N64 channel, Fork Plus One, the word fork, then plus is spelled out Plus. It was a play on Faith Plus One by South Park that I came up with back in grade 9. But I still use the same YouTube channel because it has 3,000 subscribers, so I start from 0. It's going to contain a review and completion of every Nintendo 64 game from start to finish. It's 296 of them. It took me a long time to hunt them all down.
Yeah.
But they're nice and stacked in my room now. Going to talk briefly about each game at the start of each video, how many of them there were made, who made them, yada yada, and then try and beat them. I don't think there'll be any I can't do. Pokemon Stadium 2, maybe. Okay. I'm probably going to have to find like a replacement save battery for like a Pokemon Red or Gold version and rebeat the Game Boy games if I want any hope of that.
All right, and it was Fork Plus
1, the number 1.
Fork Plus 1.
Yeah, you can also just search like Dan Parker Gaming and you'll find me.
So I guess that'll be it from us.
Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Miki.
Nathan.
Still Dan.
And Matt.
Thanks.